So, like, what's the definition of old vines in Spain?
The
Is there like a
definition.
legal definition? I mean, I know some places, like in the New World, we don't really define what makes an old vine.
Yeah, and for the moment there is no any legal definition,
Right, yeah, I
but
didn't
you
think
can
so.
put on the label this kind of viñas viejas, which
Right.
means old vines.
Hmm.
Or for example, one of the wines that we're going to taste is called a Garnacha Centenaria,
Okay.
which means Garnacha that have more or less 100 years old.
Hmm.
There is no any legal definition, but normally when you talk about viñas viejas or old vines, you are talking about more than 50 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think for most part, nobody would put that unless it was 50 years old, right?
Yeah,
Even though it's not like controlled by the DO, it's
yeah,
understood, right, amongst
yeah,
producers. Yeah, I would
yeah.
think so.
And
Um,
nobody's going to write on the label Viñas Viejas if this kind of vines not have more than 50 years old.
right.
It's
Well, while we're on the subject of age, I think that we had a question about how long do wines from the Garnacha age, and I think I kind of want to take that question because I feel like maybe not so much the base soul because it's
okay.
not supposed to aspire to be. But I feel like this wine can drink now. It's really nice,
Mm-hmm.
but it will develop and
Yeah,
change and
yeah,
become
absolutely.
more sausage, kind of
Yeah.
more like balsamic aromas. So what do you think on average? Garnacha ages as much as Pinot Noir?
I think
Uh,
it's in different way,
right,
because always the classic style of Grenache is much more concentrated, and that's why
right,
when you produce this kind of concentration, you lose some freshness maybe to
right.
age. But I think the best Grenache produced can age for 15 years,
Yeah,
something like that, 10, 15 years,
yeah.
and you can drink it and taste it after a lot of years, and you
Mhm,
really get a lot of different flavors and aromas,
mhm.
and really the wines give you a lot of pleasure.
Yeah.
That's why that's the essence.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would say like especially when you're talking about like diurnal temperature shift, the difference
Yeah,
between the day and the night. So you can get this really warm, ripe fruit, but
yeah,
then if you have the long like the nights that are cool
yeah,
and you get the acid, then acidity is going to be the preservative. So like 15, 20 years for your top
yeah,
tier,
yeah,
but maybe 5, 10 years for like that middle tier, and then
yeah.
maybe why wait for the other? It's like really they're pleasurable now. So there's obviously we keep saying it, but it's true. It's like
Yeah,
many faces of Garnacha, and it really deserves its place amongst like those grapes that do show very many faces: Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah,
yeah,
and it has its own identity. Garnacha should be like one of those key grapes, and is one of those key grapes now.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely agree.
Do people
Absolutely agree.
ask for it by name in Mugaritz?
Uh,
Like, I want a glass of Garnacha. Like,
yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah. Because
that's good.
that's very good point. Because we see at the restaurant that there is a new movement talking about asking of Cronus classes,
Yeah.
and that's very cool because the classic customer asks you a glass of Riesling or glass of Pinot Noir or
Hmm.
something like that. But now we see that from this year or maybe from the last year, there is a lot of people that are asking for glasses of Garnacha,
That's great.
and that's great, and that's wonderful, and
Yeah.
we really have a very nice selection of Grenache from, of course, all over of Spain, because Grenache is produced in different pots,
Hmm.
but of course specialized on Aragon maybe,
Hmm.
and Catalonia, because we think that the best expression come from there,
Yeah.
and yeah, there is this kind of new movement,
I
and
like
we are
that it
very happy
says
about
it
that.
on the label too. Like, I think, look, from my understanding, like Garnacha is very much like old vine,
Yeah,
old traditional, home in Spain.
yeah,
So there's history, so you can attach yourself to the history. But then also like there's a modern feel, like not like new world per se, but there's like younger
mm,
generations drinking it. But I love that even in the old world in Spain, which is a very historic country, that we are seeing varietally labeled. Maybe it's for the export market, but
uh-huh,
I think that that can relate to the younger consumer that
yeah,
says, wait, I don't want to drink necessarily wines that I don't know the grape.
yeah.
So that's a nice, that's like a really good like gateway between old world traditional and new world modern.